Hi guys, Jen here. Just coming in here to say, just to update you about what's going on and the synchronicities I'm seeing now that I've been out of the place I was living before. So today is Wednesday. I moved out officially Friday. So I've been here Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 6 days now, maybe 5 or 6 days. But immediately when I moved out and I moved here, within 24 to 48 hours, I started seeing the connections and the number codes again, and just the things started looking up, like little things started happening. So I'd have to like walk up to Main Street a little bit to do different things. Today I had to actually get my car inspected, and so I was talking to some people that I basically inadvertently avoided or stopped talking to and stuff when I was in the other situation. So it's very interesting to see how when we're in the situation that seems bad, it's not necessarily actually bad. So my point is I had to move out because I didn't have enough money for rent. So I took it upon myself. Luckily, I had my grandparents' place to move back into. So at the time, I'm like, this is bad. I don't want to move back in with my grandparents. It looks really bad. It's like ridiculous. La la. I don't have my job right now. I got like laid off from the job. I'm trying to find a job. I keep getting denied. Little things, are not working out. So it looked on the outside like it was not exactly, pieces weren't coming together and fitting in. So I had no other choice. It's either that or being on the street. So I was just like, at that time, I'm like, okay, I'll deal with it. I'll work something out. And, I'm a survivor. I always survive. And, in the meantime, while being here, I'll do things for them that, I was more adversely didn't want to do last time I was here because I had more of a childlike mentality. So, and I also felt smothered. So both me and my grandmother had needed to learn some things and to learn boundaries and respect for each other and stop putting our wants on each other. So that was a good test for this whole thing. So coming back into this situation, we're kind of running into a little bit of that, but I'm saying now being here, like I'm doing stuff for them, and so because I don't have money, it's like I'm doing chores, or I'm like doing their groceries. I'm helping them get their other things at like CVS and things, picking up their prescriptions. She's helped me with getting the car inspected and paying for that, so I don't have to worry about that. It's kind of like a trade-off, so to speak, until I can actually get a job and then start doing that too. So while I've been doing this and running around doing these errands, and I'm not trying to control the situation and I'm just letting it be, and stop putting I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that. I just want to sit around and do whatever like I had before. Instead, just owning my own responsibility and my part of the relationship thing here. Things and people have been starting to come back into my life that I didn't even know were missing at that point. Because when I was over at the other place, it was so inundated with negativity and people that didn't want to advance or get their life together. They just liked living in the conditions that they were in there because they perpetuate their own downfall. And while breaking it off with my ex, it's hard, and I feel that lack of that relationship there, but at the same time I know I'm better off because he was not healing himself and getting himself better, and it wasn't like a violent or anything like that kind of relationship. It was just kind of like I'd be like, okay, you need to do this, and the procrastination would be there, and he'd never get anything done. And then when push comes to shove down at the end, when you ran out of time, he wouldn't admit to it, and then he'd go inside himself and start blaming other people or whatever. And I just had enough, and there was a situation that happened, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do this. And then he flipped out, and he was like, fine, I don't want to see you anymore. And I was like, okay, that's it. And it was going south since like July of last year, since I moved into that place, which is ironic. um, but the whole situation, I thought it was a good thing because in my mind, I thought I could make it better. I thought, okay, this place is not exactly the best, but with my good energy and my positive vibes and things, I can manipulate the situation, morph the situation in my room to make it good. Turns out it actually was morphing me inadvertently. I didn't even know. Because I was surrounded 24/7 by the constant people stealing the food, people not keeping themselves, just stuff that, it's fine for them if they want to live that way, but for me it didn't go very well with my energy field and who I am. The lies, the manipulation, the fact that the landlord wasn't keeping things up, and then recently when I said I'd keep something there, then they turn around and say that I didn't say that, so it's just the whole place is run really wrong, and and that's why, because the energy of the people that are running it goes into the people that are living there because they don't screen people, and so you get bad, not necessarily bad people all the time, but there were some bad people doing some bad things. And it can get pretty scary sometimes depending, but it's not like it's like other situations which like certain people living in like the ghettos and stuff would do, which I'm glad I wasn't involved with that. But so inadvertently what I'm saying is, until I came here, I didn't know how bad it was, because now I'm on the other side of the fence again, and I'm like, holy crap, that I was settling for everything. I was making excuses in my head on how the situation was okay and I'll deal with it. It's not perfect, but it's better than something. And by me doing that, I was dumbing down my light and I was settling, and that's not what we need to do. We need to own our own responsibility. We need to own our own light, and we need to be like, hey, if it's not working out, work to make it out. Work to get out of that situation. Like, try to go and turn. I know it's weird, and I didn't get it until I actually had to be forced out of that situation. But it was until that point when I was like, holy shit, the people around me who were talking to me, who I thought didn't know anything, knew stuff. They knew the situation because they saw it out of different eyes, so to speak. Yes, they had their own ideas about what it was and what I should do and all these things, but for the most part, they knew that it wasn't the right place for me. It might be the right place for certain people that don't have another place to go and that, have a lower quality of life, and they're fine with that. That's fine. But for me, I love and I deserve a high quality of life. And if that's what it's going to be, then I'm going to fight for it. So, anyway, I'm just saying, and I know I'm all over the place here, sorry. And this is a video because the Wi-Fi here I haven't set up 100%, so it's kind of touch and go, so I have to do the video just to get this out there. But I don't have the stress of noises in the middle of the night, people walking in screaming, the new guy that was brought in the other place having his hot cold relationship with his woman, strangers coming in and going out, leaving doors open because they don't want to have the time to push it closed or whatever. Landlord not fixing up the place and having issues with that. It was all just not good. And I knew it internally, I just didn't want to believe it, so I was lying to myself. And until this happened, because apparently Spirit and my spirit guide, who's Merlin, what he'll do is he will put you in a situation where you have to change. Because he knows that if you're not going to do it on your own, it has to, you have to be put onto it. So that's what happened. So, and then at the time, I'm just like, this is bad, I don't want this to happen. And then now, a couple days later and getting things organized here, it is so much quieter here. I am more at peace. I have my animals. I have my cat, my therapy cat now here with me. I have more of a purpose. I'm back with nature. It's just I am more... I don't know how to explain it. It's just the energy's there, and it's more of a... It's almost like when a flower is trying to grow in an situation or an environment where it's toxic, so it's getting toxic rain and things like that. It'll still grow, but it can only grow so much and bloom only to a degree that that toxicity smothers it. So when you put different water, like pure water instead of toxic rainwater, into the plant, then the plant blooms way more and you can see the light and the shine way more. So that's what happened to me basically. And I'm very, very, very thankful for it. So now I just have to turn it all around and start making money and getting my prosperity back in and getting my life on track again. So it's basically another from scratch situation, but I'm resilient. I know I am, and I know you guys are too. And just if you guys are in situations like that, don't hesitate to just go internal and start thinking about who you were with, who you were around, what environment you're around, and start making the changes to get better and to get into a situation that's better. Because we can make the changes. Sometimes it's scary and sometimes it's hard, and sometimes in our head when their ego is in control, it makes us think that it's not the right move.